Hello everybody and welcome to the Long Beach Street Circuit for the fourth round of the NXTGEN Racing's Mazda MX5 Cup here as we head into the halfway point in this season after we complete the next three races. We are officially halfway, and that means our drivers will need to really get their cars into shape in order to find their way towards the top of each of their respective classes. And this is a tricky circuit to find their way forward to and find their way towards the front, especially as it has been raining here in practice. There are puddles of water all around the streets here. There is going to continue to be rain as the sessions continue. Race number 2 is expected to be the wettest of the three. We should see a dry race number 3, which will be good because we are going to be a complete reverse grid for that final race of the day. Of course, the second race of the day, we are going to see the top 15 reverse. The first race of the day, set by qualifying, one man so far has been putting it to the front more than anyone else. That is Sam Spinell. He got pole at Monza. He got pole at Zandvoort. Nick Klibbins getting that pole at Brands Hatch. But we aren't going to see Spinell go for his third pole here around the streets of Long Beach because he is going to be excluded from the qualifying session. He has reached the incident threshold. He's reached the license points that he will have to start the race from the back of the grid, and he will be out of qualifying, not allowed to head out onto the track for that one. What it also does mean is the final race of the day back at Zandvoort, race number 3. Sam Spinell was able to take the victory in that one. However, due to incidents earlier on in the race, he was demoted, and therefore Adam Wilson-Weir took the win in that one. So Wilson-Weir, it was his first win of the season, and it was after a post-race penalty for that one. And that is one of the things within the series that is obviously a great point to make for this NXTGEN series is the fact that they do have stewarding. We do have live stewards making calls as the races go on, but we also have the post-race instant reviews as well. And it was obviously quite a big one for Sam Spinell in the chicane. Was the incident where that one happened, and it was one that we obviously talked about a lot with Sam with Sharp. So it was one that obviously sees Kieran Sharp down the order after battling for that win, and it means that Spinell did not take the 2 overall race wins at Zandvoort, but he did take the win in the first race of the day for him. Actually, do you know what he might not have done? Now that I actually look at it, the instant point. Now, I focused on race 3 because that was the big thing that caught me out, but no, it was Twadok that got penalised, not Spinell. That was it. Twadok also got penalised in that one and is on the bubble with the penalty points as well. So just making sure that they are remaining clean for the second half of the season, so that they aren't getting having to start from pit lane, getting disqualified or anything like that. Talking about then the season coming up, let's talk about the calendar then. We are here at Long Beach for the 4th round, and like I say, it will mark the halfway point in this season. We head across to Aragon next week for the final round in November. That's going to be a brilliant circuit, some good slipstreaming straights, some really fast corners, a couple of slower ones as well. We're going to see some great fighting going on there. We head across to the Red Bull Ring, slipstream country over there for the Red Bull Ring in the Austria. So I think it is going to be an amazing race, that one, and it is going to be like Monza anyone's chance to get to the front and try to take the win. We then head across to Thruxton. It is a slipstream fest. I think that it is going to be a one where you are going to be able to find your way to the front, but there is also some skill to it. The final chicane, the first part of the lap, there is going to be some more skill, I would say, than getting to the front than, say, at the Red Bull Ring. And finally, we head across to Mosport for the final round of the season. Really long back straight. Really fast corners, and I think we're going to see some great racing there as well, as we have done already so far this season. If you want to check out all of the previous races, if you've missed any, then be sure to go across to the NXTGEN Racing's YouTube channel or on their Facebook page, where you can catch up on all the previous lives. If you want to watch the extended highlights of the round so far, then head across to the Beehive Build Broadcasting YouTube channel, where you can catch up on each of the races in a shorter and more digestible format rather than these full live streams. That being said, then, the championship standings as we go into this one. In your pro class, it is Isaac Noble who has moved to the top of the standings in this one. He has gone all the way to the front with some good results. Of course, only taking one win so far this season. Delmont, though, remember, is the only double race winner. He sits 3 points behind Doble right now and will be looking to try and get back past as after this weekend for the halfway stage in this race. In the practice session at the moment, Isaac Doble is the fastest out there. Delmont, the fourth fastest. We got Kieran Sharp. He sits in third. Definitely, I would say, would be in the lead of the championship if it wasn't for the contact that took him out of contention for the race win back at Zandvoort in race number 3. Jamie Dory and Mikey Doble, they're pretty close together in the standings there. Jamie Dory, however, racing tonight on a broken left hand. So he is going to have to be extremely careful getting around this circuit, and he is finding the hairpin an extremely challenging corner to go. It's a right-handed corner where you mostly use your left hand anyway. He is unable to use his left hand through that corner, having to do it with his right. It makes it an extremely challenging corner for him, and he is finding himself a bit slow. So we need to keep an eye on Dory there with his broken hand. Mike Dobo, as I say, in 5th position. We got Adam Wilson Weir then in 6th, benefiting from the 5-place post-race penalty for Sam Spinale, taking that win in the final race of the day at Zandvoort. That was it was given to him in the end with that penalty for Spinale. Spinale himself sits in 7th position. Like I say, he won't be out here in qualifying today. He does have to start this race at the back, and I'm actually having a look here, and I don't think Spinale is here this weekend, and if I'm not mistaken, that does mean that his penalty will carry over to Aragon next week. Then we've got Ben Oucher. He sits in 8th. He took his first win at Zandvoort in race number 2. He managed to take quite a nice win for himself there. It was then undone in race number 3 with the reverse grid, of course, getting caught up at the accident at turn number 1. Craig Twardock, he moves into 9th. He saw a couple of penalties around the Zandvoort circuit, and therefore is going to need to be careful with his penalty points. He got demoted a couple of positions because of that, so he's sitting on 66 points. But he is sitting ahead of Nick Clibbins. Clibbins has got a race win this season, but just showing you how important consistency is and not race wins, because a number of the drivers in front of him without wins so far this season, including the man in 4th place, Jamie Dory, and the man in 3rd place of Kieran Sharp. Both those will be hunting for their first win around the circuit today. Out of the pro standings then, and across to the Pro-Am standings, it is Phil McDougall who is at the top of the Pro-Am standings after promotions, of course, for Craig Twardock and Sam Spinale last week at Zandvoort, and that will continue through the rest of the season. There's a couple of changes, though, in the championship within the Pro-Ams. We already saw William Kirtler move across down into the Pro-Am category. We also see Matthew Cheverton and Michael Clough now move into that standing as well, and they're all within the top 10, so that's why those names are now in the Pro-Am side. Phil McDougall then, as I say, leading that way. He took 2 class wins back at Zandvoort. He won the first and second race, not able to get there and back up the order in in the full reverse grid, but some good results for him moves him to the top of the standings in the Pro-Am category. Nigel Stock sits in second place right now, and Carl Thompson sits in third, tied with Alan McCain. Matthew Cheverton moving across into the Pro-Am standings is in fifth, ahead of Mark Sykes. Sykes feeling quite rough at the moment, a little bit poorly, so we won't be talking to him tonight, but hopefully he has a decent race and can find some points to his name. Adrian Fritsch sits in seventh, ahead of Sam Smith. Smith, of course, with a win in the season so far. He won at race number 2 in Brands Hatch, so he'll be hoping to try and get a bit more consistent as the season goes on and find his way up the order if possible. Michael Clough then and William Kirtler there, 9th and 10th position, just a point separating each of them. As this practice session continues to tick on, we're into the last 5 minutes. The drivers will be listening to their driver briefing at the moment. If there are any issues with the broadcast going down, we do apologise sincerely. There is a new internet that was installed into my house yesterday, and you know how it goes with new internet, but everything has been looking stable for the last half an hour, so we can hope that for the next 2 hours it will continue to remain stable. As we then are going to look at the circuit that we are racing tonight, it is the Long Beach circuit. Around the streets of California here, it is supposed to be a sunny circuit. It's supposed to be a circuit in which the sun is always shining. We don't see the rain come out too often, but that is not what is happening here around the 11-turn, 1.96-mile circuit. We are going to be seeing a significant amount of rain across the day. As you can see there, race number 2 is the race that is going to see the most amount of rain. It has been spotty showers throughout the practice session that has left the circuit wet, and therefore all the drivers going out there on the wet compounder tyres. It should be a relatively dry race number 3, and I think that that's what a lot of our drivers are hoping for, because we have had some fun times in the wet. Let's think to Brands Hatch, of course, very changeable conditions in that second race of the day that caused a lot of drivers to come down pit lanes, put on the wets, a lot of spins, a lot of incidents, as those changeable conditions went around. But race number 3 was a lot more sensible, I would say, actually, in the as pretty much all the drivers started on the wet compound tyres, and we didn't see as many issues. So hopefully today, drivers starting on the wets, we won't see as many issues as we saw at Brands Hatch for that one. If you are new to this season and you have not come across the MX5 races before, here is your format. This is how we are going to get going. Qualifying will begin in just under 4 minutes time, in fact just under 3 minutes time at this point, where we will see our drivers heading around for 15 minutes of open qualifying. That means they will be trying to find the quickest time that they possibly can with other drivers out on the circuit, which means that if there are issues for drivers ahead, it can impact your lap and slow you down, so drivers will be hoping to avoid that. Race number 1 then, it'll be about 15 minutes, and in fact, race number 1 today is going to be 15 minutes. On the first race of the day has accidentally been set as a timed race of 15 minutes, so therefore race number 1 will be exactly 15 minutes long. The grid order for that one set by our qualifying. Race number 2 will then be a lapped race, which will be about 15 minutes long, should be about the same length that we see race number 1, but it will be in laps rather than time. We will see the top 15 of race number 1 results reversed for the grid of race number 2. And then the third and final race of the day is going to be about 25 minutes long, and they're going to need it because our race winners from race number 2 are going to be starting from the very back of the field, as we see a full reverse grid for all drivers that are at least, no more than 1 lap down, as you can still see the spray heading around on the cars as they finish off this practice session and we prepare ourselves for the qualifying session. As I say, this is going to mark our halfway point in the season, and right now our overall winners, because of Spinale getting demoted with the post-race penalties at race number 3, at round number 3 of Zandvoort, it means that currently Adam Delmont is the only multiple race winner, overall race winner, and no Pro-Am has currently made it to an overall race win. Of course, Sam Spinale did take the win in the Pro-Ams at the beginning. He was a Pro-Am for the first 2 rounds of the season. He got promoted to a Pro last week, where he did get that win in race number 1, of course, the win in race number 3 before it got taken away from him. Craig Twardock, who also moves up to the Pro standings at Zandvoort, he took 3 class wins in the Pro-Am category, and Phil McDougall is the only other driver outside of Craig Twardock who has taken multiple Pro-Am class wins. He took the class win at the first 2 races at Zandvoort last week. He'll be hoping to find his way back towards the front today, but it is Mark Sykes, the fastest Pro-Am in this practice session as we come to an end. In fact, as I go down here, Phil McDougall only the 9th fastest in class here in the practice session. And our latest overall race winner, Adam Wilson-Weir, down 24th overall here as the practice session is going to come to a close, and we are going to move ourselves across to our qualifying session. It looks pretty dry out there, but drivers are coming out on the wet compounder tyres, and you can see that is why there is still spray kicking up off of the back of these machines. So just because it looks dry to us up here in the commentary booth and on your screens there, it certainly is not dry out there as the spray starts to kick around out the back. And in fact, as you saw a little bit of the sunlight reflecting off the surface there, you can see that it is certainly still a wet surface. Tom Davidson is leading the train of drivers out of pit lane for this 15-minute qualifying session. We might see a new pole sitter here today. Like I say, currently the only 2 drivers to find their way to pole. Sam Spinale did it at Monza and Zandvoort. Nick Clibbins did it at Brands Hatch. Spinale not here today. Even if he was, he would not be allowed out onto the qualifying session. But Nick Clibbins might be able to, if I'm just having a look to see if Nick Clibbins is here today. Nick Clibbins also, no, he is here. He is here today. Nick Clibbins coming around here in the 013 machine, and he'll be looking to try and take his 2nd pole position this season. But of course, when we did it at Brands Hatch, yes, race number 2 and race number 3 were wet, but it was a dry qualifying session. This is the first wet qualifying session of the season. The weather decided by the weather in real life. It's no one coming up with weather off the top of their heads, so therefore we don't know what the weather's going to be like the rest of the season. But this qualifying session here at Long Beach is going to be soaking wet as drivers are coming around. It's certainly not wet enough for the drivers to feel like they're going through a monsoon just about yet, but we might see that by the 2nd race of the day. Drivers then starting their first laps, and it looks like it could be one of the Dobles out front. It is Isaac Doble who is the very front of this. He's not going to be getting any tow here from any drivers in front of him. However, it means that he's not going to be held up through the corners. Of course, there's a couple of straights here that a tow is really going to benefit you. It's what you really hope for as we continue to ride on board with Doble here and see what he is able to do on his first lap in the qualifying session. Of course, it's not a really long lap. It is, it can get over quite quickly. You can get quite a few laps in on this one, but I don't think we'll see any drivers heading down pit lane for a fresh set of tyres or to refill their fuel tanks. I think they'll probably be filled for the duration of the qualifying session and just go as fast as they can. Doble getting right up to the wall on the outside. Of course, you don't want to even scrape one of these walls on a qualifying lap, because a 0x of a scrape on a wall will invalidate your lap time. As Doble now gets onto the brakes, turns across to the right. This is very easy to get it around here, and now to the one of the most hated corners in the history of motorsport. It's the final hairpin. Luckily, these cars quite slow as it is, so you don't have to slow all the way down to what is basically a grinding halt, but there certainly was some puddles on the inside there, and therefore Doble not able to get all the way up to the apex, but not really that you want to do that anyway through that corner, as he is the first man across the line. He puts in a 40.443. Tom Davidson goes into second as Delmont, the man looking for a third win this season, looking to get past Isaac Doble in the Pro Championship by the end of this weekend as we mark the halfway point of the season. He is currently 7/10 of a second off of Doble. So even without any slipstream at all, Isaac Doble finding the speed around the streets of Long Beach with the wet compound of tyres. It's not raining at the moment, but the circuit is wet. Of course, if it doesn't continue to rain throughout the next 10 minutes, we could potentially see a dry line forming with all of the drivers that are out there, over 30 drivers, of course. So you could potentially see a dry line forming. It is grey out there, so we can't see the sun, and therefore that is going to be an invalidated lap from Pike, who touches the wall there. That will be a 0x. However, with the sun not out, it means that it will take a little bit longer for the track to dry up, and seeing those dry tyres, I think, might be a risk, but it might be a risk that drivers are willing to take. That's going to be the question here, of who wants to risk it on the dry tyres towards the end of this one to see if they can get a fast lap in, as we're seeing quite a lot of the field getting lap times in at the moment. Nick Clibbins, who saw pole position at Brands Hatch, down in 12th right now, and we could be seeing Doble or Delmont get their first pole of the season. Could Doble go for his second win of the season here at Long Beach? He'll certainly be hoping so. He found 0.6 of a second over Tom Davidson at the moment. Davidson, the man, second fastest out there, but Isaac Doble is the only man within the 140s. Tom Davidson, 141.054. So right now, Doble is finding a huge amount of time out in that track. Nick Clibbins improves, and he moves up into 4th position. He is almost a second off of Isaac Doble, but he is only a few tenths off of a front row start if he can get himself past Tom Davidson. Just under 9 minutes on the clock now, as drivers continue to head through, as we do actually have a new driver heading out there today for the first time this season. We've got the 111 of Harry Gaylor, who is running 16th position at the moment, and what a circuit, what weather conditions to get yourself down onto the track in the league for the first time, and that is Isaac Doble. Facing the wrong way here in qualifying, some front end damage there. Let's see if we can find out what's happened to Isaac Doble. He's already picked up that front end damage actually before the spin, and rear end damage as well, and it's just around he goes, and he gets it off of the racing line as quickly as he can. But look at that from Gaylor there, just having to squeeze his way through, but he certainly does. As it looks like that was Mikey Doble who was passing Isaac Doble before. Mikey Doble up in 5th position right now, just off of Nick Clibbins. Can he find any time this lap to get closer to that front row? Could we see a double Doble front row here? And it is not an improvement. I know it is an improvement on that lap, and he moves up into 3rd. And just 44 hundredths of a second off of Tom Davidson there. Could we see Isaac Doble and Mikey Doble at the front together in qualifying for the first time this season? Could we see them potentially take a 1-2 for the first time this season as well? Of course, both Mikey Doble and Isaac Doble have taken a win this year. Mikey Doble took it at the 2nd race of the season, round number 1 at Monza in race number 2. Isaac Doble took it in the 6th race of the season. He took it in the 3rd and final race at round 2 of Brands Hatch. So neither of these drivers are finding their way to the pole just yet. Sam Spinell, Nick Clibbins being the only two to do that. They will be looking to improve as Kieran Sharp finally goes into the 140s as well. And it's a 140.275 from Kieran Sharp, goes over 1.5 tenths of a second quicker than Isaac Doble. Doble still with damage here, hasn't pitted even after the spin, as Sam Smith moves up into 10th position. Smith with a class win once so far this season. Adrian Fritsch, the fastest of the Pro-Ams at the moment, he is yet to take a class win. He's sitting in 5th, with Sam Smith down in 10th. So there's quite a big gap between those Pro-Am drivers, and we could see Fritsch taking his first win of the season. And will we see another new winner in both classes, the pros and the pro-ams today? Like I say, repeat winners, not very common this season. Adam Delmont, the only driver to take 2 wins in the pro class. McDougall and Twadok, the only 2 drivers to take 2 or more wins in the pro-am class. As Isaac Doble pushing around hard here as Andrew Pike goes fastest there. We're waiting for Craig Twadok to come out and set a lap time as well. He's down pit lane at the moment as Sean Connolly goes across the line. He sits in 23rd position, 4 seconds off of Isaac Doble out front right now. Harry McGovern is also out there looking to put in a lap time if he can. And I do believe, now Harry McGovern did join the league last week, but I do believe that McGovern did not race last week. This is the first time that we're heading, seeing McGovern out there as well. Adam Delmont competing for the championship in the pros right now, just a few points off of Isaac Doble. He's down in 9th position right now, 1.4 seconds off of Kieran Sharp. Now these conditions are challenging, but this spread is much bigger than we've seen at any point so far this season. As Delmont slides his car around, you can certainly see why drivers are losing out time. The rear end of these machines in these wet conditions are just kicking out, and so much so that Sam Smith spins around there. Will be wanting to get his car out of the way without getting in anyone else's way, but that is a tricky spot to find the car, to get the car the right direction. Just waiting for there to be an opening, and what this is doing is eating into Sam Smith's qualifying time as well. He gets into reverse, so quite a big gap there for him to be able to do that. Fortunately, no more cars coming around, and it looks like Smith will get himself going here. Tom Davidson is out on dry tyres, or at least he is coming out, as that is a huge accident that we can see there along the pit straight. Across the line there, a couple of cars getting involved, but Tom Davidson is doing, like I said, somebody might do. You've got a decent lap time in. He's in 7th. However, let's risk it. Let's put the dry tyres on just for the end of qualifying and see what we can do here. We're going to ride on board with Tom Davidson, riding around in the dry compounder tyres, everybody else out there in the wet. Is this going to go Davidson's way or not? The rear end kicking out massively there. This looks like it could be an uncomfortable lap, but you can see the dry line forming. That's what Davidson would have seen as well on his qualifying laps on the wet tyres, and he's thought, do you know what? It's worth the risk. I'm not finding any more time in the wets, and he's not going to find any more time in the dries as he does a complete 360, keeps it out of the barrier. But I think that is going to be Davidson deciding, do you know what? Actually, these dry tyres, not worth it. As he went around there. Adam Wilson, we're here. Heading up towards the timing line. He has found some time. He sits in 7th. It says 6th, but he does actually sit in 7th. Let's see if I can fix that here. As he is running around, well, he's running around trying to get in a faster lap time, 1.2 off of the front. He is our latest race winner, of course. He inherited the win at the final race of the day in Zandvoort due to the penalty given to Sam Spinale. So even though he didn't win on circuit, Adam Wilson-Weir is a winner this season, and he joins a long list of winners, and he decides to celebrate by jumping into the fountain, and he has actually caused a huge gaggle of cars there, and he finds his way into the bushes. As he tries to get away from that, he jumps his way off of the circuit. 1.5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. Jamie Dorey is risking the dry tyres here and will get, I believe, one good lap on those tyres, because this is an out lap for him. So next lap, we will see whether Jamie Dory is able to do anything on these dry tyres. He sits on a 40.6 right now. Fastest drivers of Kieran Sharp and Isaac Doble are running 39s. 39.7 for Kieran Sharp, 39.8 for Isaac Doble. It is then a 40.4 as Doble goes fastest with a 39.4. This is how quick Doble and Sharp are compared to the rest, as Dory has issues through the hairpin with that broken hand, with those dry tyres. It is a risk to go on these dry tyres as it is. Dory doing it here on a broken left hand as well, and the whole rear end of the car unsettles there as the dry tyres just absolutely aquaplane. As he tries to get around the circuit. Of course, no dry line forming really along that main pit straight there, and around he goes. Yeah, these dry tyres are not working out at all for Jamie Dory, and a risk that was worth taking. He sits 6th overall in the qualifying standings, but it isn't going to be any time found for him. Doble still pushing at the moment, as is Kieran Sharp as well. Checker flag is out. Can Sharp improve on this lap? He comes through the final hairpin. He needs to find 0.215 of a second, a 39.494 to beat. He'll come up towards the timing line. There it is. Is it going to be a faster lap for Kieran Sharp? It is. It's a 39.705, but it's not enough to get past Isaac Doble, and Doble decides with that he is going to peel down pit lane. Adam Delmont here. Can Delmont find anything? He sits almost 0.7 of a second off of Isaac Doble, but can he find anything in the 37 machine to move closer, to move past Kieran Sharp perhaps? Because right now the championship leader is leading this qualifying session and en route for his first pole of the season. Delmont is pushing hard. He wants to try and dislodge him of that if possible and take his own first pole of the season. Of course, Isaac Doble, if he does get the pole, will be hunting down his first repeat win of the season, his second win, whereas Delmont has already got that on the books at the moment. Right, we head up towards the hairpin here. A lot of sliding from Adam Delmont. He gets through the final hairpin again. The rear end kicks out, and he does decide that is enough, and he heads down pit lane and will not push any further with that one. Kieran Sharp is still out there, but also has taken the checkered flags. That means we will see this session come to a close, and we will be able to get our full grid order for this one. So, the race then, we will see Isaac Doble start in pole position for the first time this season. He is the third man to find their way to the front of the field this season. Kieran Sharp will start in second. Sharp could be leading the championship right now if it wasn't for the issues in the third race of the day at Zandvoort, but he will start this one in second. Adam Delmont, the championship rival to Isaac Doble, he starts in third, and Nick Clibbins, previous pole man, one-time race winner as well, he will start in fourth. In that top four, it is only Kieran Sharp who has not taken a win so far. Lee Horn will start this one in fifth position ahead of Mikey Doble, who will start in sixth. Seventh position. Once everything moves across, there we go. We'll see Jamie Dory starting there, ahead of Adrian Fritsch, the highest Pro-Am driver. Andrew Pike will start this one in ninth, ahead of Adam Wilson-Weir, our latest race winner, who inherited the win in the final race of the day at Zandvoort. Tom Davidson finished 11th, will start 11th, ahead of Sam Smith. Gavin Gardner will start 13th, Alan McCain in 14th position. Michael Clough will start in 15th, ahead of Phil McDougall. Mark Sykes will start this one in 17th with Carl Thompson in 18th place. 19th place will be Harry Gaylor. Then we will see Matt Gatter in 20th. Matthew Cheverton will be in 21st position ahead of Mark Hughes. Nigel Stock will start in 23rd. Harry McGovern in 24th position. Sean Connolly will start this one in 25th position. Andy Outhouse will start in 26th ahead of James Parfitt. Zara McGuinness will start in 28th. Craig Jones in 29th. And it will be Craig Twardock at the back of the field in 30th for the first race of the day. We prepare to get ourselves underway then for the first race of the day. Most of the drivers then heading on to the field, getting themselves prepared. Of course, this first race is going to be timed rather than laps. That is because Jamie Dory forgot what laps were and did not change the timed race to a lapped race for this one. That means 15 minutes on the clock rather than our rather than our lap counter. However, that does mean that I'm now going to have to be a little bit skeptical of the lap counter that's showing. It's expecting 9 laps. What I have noticed in most recent races with that is we'll probably see 8 because that likes to overestimate by 1 lap, as it turns out, in most of them. However, drivers are down there, not everyone on wet tyres. Now, we've had this before. We had this at Brands Hatch, and that means that we will have the tyre compound come up for you during this race that you can see. But just on the top of the screen, we see dry tyres from Sean Connolly, Harry McGovern, Nigel Stock. They're all outside the top 20. Looks like Michael Clough is starting 15th on the dry tyres. Adam Delmont starting 3rd position on the dry compound of tyres here. So, interesting choice from our drivers. Most drivers are on wets. Like I say, we will get, once we get the standings up on the left, we will see the tyre compound that they're running, because those compounds are going to be interesting as the race goes on. It's looking dry out there, but is it just trying to catch us off? The sun is out. As the track does say very lightly wet, the sun is out. It is expected. There's some possible rain, but who knows when it will come, if it will fall before the end of this one. We have 30 drivers preparing to get away for 15 minutes here at round number 4 at Long Beach. It will be the first of 3 races. The order set by qualifying here. And we are going to get ready for 15 minutes of racing. Isaac Doble on pole position on the right-hand side of the screen. Kieran Sharp on the right. They are away. It's dry tyres from Adam Delmont in 3rd position. He gets a poor launch. He wobbles the rear end. There's contact. And he is around. Adam Delmont, championship contender, goes around on the dry tyres. The wet tyres are definitely going to be the ones that are going to pay off at this point in the race. Those that have risked the dries are not going to be happy. We get up towards turn number 1. We were 3 wide. Are they all going to make it through somehow? They just squeezed through, but no on the exit. Multiple cars around, including Adam Wilson-Weir, Adrian Fritsch and Gavin Gardner. All 3 of those caught up on the exit of turn number 1 as we head through the rest of the lap. It looks like drivers at the front have settled themselves down. Mikey Doble gets overtaken by Andrew Pike. Pike now up to 4th position, trying to hunt down that podium ahead. That's Kieran Sharp leading Isaac Doble, leading Nick Clibbins. Sharp has had a great opening lap there to get his way to the front. Sharp without a win so far this season, looking to get that win. This is Tom Davidson stuck on the outside of Lee Horn. It's a slide from Horn. Mikey Doble and Jamie Dory on the dry tyres. Isaac Doble on the dry tyres. So it is the wets that are paying off right now, because here comes Nick Clibbins up the inside of Isaac Doble as they head up towards the final turn on the lap. I bet all the drivers that they would not be able to make it through the hairpin on lap number 1, but it looks like it is going to be relatively sensible towards the front. How about towards the back? The safety car has come out here as the race will be neutralised as the drivers head around the final corner. And this race is going to be under safety car here as drivers will slow themselves down. Kieran Sharp getting the best launch on the wets. Nick Clibbins moves past Doble just before the line to take second onto this safety car period, as well as let's see if we can figure out some of what has happened there. Right, opening lap, this is off the launch. This is, of course, Adam Delmont from third position on those dry tyres. Doesn't get the launch, loses the rear end, gets a nudge from the back, touches the wall, and around they go. Then we saw the contact on the exit of turn number 1. Kieran Sharp. Something's happened to Kieran Sharp here. I think it may have been a disconnect for Kieran Sharp. He has suddenly disappeared and fallen out of the lead to the point where we will catch back up with this. No, he's back up to the front. I think there may have been just a connection issue there. He is back up at the front. Apologies for that. I generally thought there was some issues there. Right, Gavin Gardner, let's have a little look at what happened to Gardner, Fritsch and Adam Wilson-Weir then. This was towards turn number 1. There is Doble off already. It is 3 wide. Actually, this was 3 wide ahead already. So as we ride on board with Gardner, we can see the drivers going 3 wide ahead as they come through turn number 1. There's going to be a little bit of a nudge, and there we go, as it was just trying to get to the inside. It was just contact on the outside there. Let's see if we had any more going on. This is through the hairpin. This is the 011 machine of Zara McGuinness. She's turned. There's already a car turned in front as well, and that's going to be... Oh, that's one of the new drivers, isn't it, I believe, into the wall there as well. Harry McGovern, I think, went into the wall there. So, yeah, a couple of incidents there. And we are going to see, as this is Gavin Gardner coming out of pit lane, actually. And this is the front of the field. So, yeah, we're going to see our drivers heading around the lap right now. A purple lap for Mikey Doble under this safety car period. That's... obviously showing that we didn't have the best of first laps, and the second lap being under this safety car here. We'll get one more most likely before we see the restart happen. But it is Kieran Sharp who is going to lead the way on the restart. Nick Clibbins will start in second. Andrew Pike is up to third. We have lost Isaac Doble. I knew we saw a name go down. Doble visited pit lane. Was there some issue for Doble under the safety car? Whoa, what has happened to Doble there? Huge front end damage there for Isaac Doble. This is Isaac Doble on the dry tyres, if we can get there, because we might not be able to see the wreck. Oh, here we go, here we go. Oh, it's a hit! Just goes straight into the back of Nick Clibbins. And a huge, huge damage there for Isaac Doble, and he has to pit with that. So Doble, Isaac Doble, championship leader, is down to 25th position in this one. That is a massive shock. And bearing in mind, we saw Adam Delmont go around. This is Kieran Sharp's real opportunity now to find their way to the top of the championship. Sharp and Pike looking for their first wins today. Nick Clibbins looking for his second win. He won at round 2 in Brands Hatch in the wet. Clibbins did win in the wet at race number 2. Mikey Doble also looking to take a win, his second win here. Right, the safety car will come down pit lane, and Kieran Sharp accelerates straight away out of the final hairpin, and we are green once more here at the streets of Long Beach. Cheverton has gone around at the hairpin. Is going to have to wait for the drivers to get through before he is able to get himself turned around and facing the right way once more. Up towards Turn number 1 now. This is Sam Smith looking to try and get past Tom Davidson. Smith leading the Pro-Am field. He has taken 1 win so far. Phil McDougall is second in class, looking to take his 3rd class win of the season after taking 2 in Zandvoort. It's going to be a fight for second. Andrew Pike tries to get past Nick Clibbins to take second in this one. The little bit of a fight there has allowed Kieran Sharp to open up just a little bit. Dry tyres from Mikey Doble and Jamie Dorey in 4th and 5th position. It is a risk that they have taken. Is it going to play out? As Jamie Dorey under attack there from Tom Davidson, and Davidson gets that position. The dry tyres just not looking like the tyre to be on here as we head around. As we now go towards the end of the lap, they have opened themselves up for most of the positions now as they try to sort themselves out. Phil McDougall, though, will be wanting to get past Sam Smith here in the fight for the Pro-Am lead, and they are just behind Jamie Dorey as well, running on the dry tyres. But here goes McDougall. It'll be to the inside. It will swap around to the outside as that's Mikey Doble being overtaken by Tom Davidson ahead, as Sam Smith now goes to the inside of Jamie Dorey. Those dry tyres just falling down the order at the moment as we come across the line. They are side by side in the fight for the lead of the Pro-Am field. Phil McDougall has got some good speed on that wider line. It will turn to the inside as they get up towards turn number 1. Sam Smith stuck on the outside at the moment. He's going to turn in. There's going to be just a tiny bit of contact, but Phil McDougall takes the lead here at the first race of the day. And there's fights going on ahead as Mikey Doble goes right in by Nick Clibbins. No, that's Sam Smith. Sam Smith spins. Clibbins' teammate goes around there. Clibbins is doing fine in where he is at the front of the field. Sorry to panic some of you there as I noticed the livery, not the number. We go through, and McDougall has also got past Mikey Doble, who went a little bit wrong through that hairpin. Doble also losing the position to Jamie Dorey as well. Those dry tyres, though, could come into play in the next couple of minutes, because I am no longer seeing all of the spray as these drives are heading down. The only time I'm seeing the spray is really when they're getting off the racing line. On the racing line, it's looking relatively dry here, and those on the dry tyres could find their way back forwards if they can keep it clean. At the moment, though, it is being that is a difficult ask to happen. Isaac Doble looking to move up the field here after having to pit under the safety car when he drove into the back of Nick Clibbins. He is trying to recover, and it is just not working out his way right now. He is 18th in this race. Kieran Sharp out at the front of the field is looking mighty quick and looking to try and take the win. So far, not a single one of our pole sitters outside of Sam Spinell has converted his pole into a win. That will continue here. Side by side now between Matt Gatter and Adrian Fritsch. This is for 9th in class. It's Fritsch to the inside. Of course, when they get up towards turn number 1, it'll switch across to the outside. It is also side by side ahead between Craig Twardock and Craig Jones. Twardock, member, starting from 30th and last, not putting in a qualifying time. Fritsch goes deep, and that's the driver into the wall and around. That's Craig Twardock involved in that one. Touched the wall and then collected by Craig Jones. Both drivers around and down the order. That's Zara McGuinness. Finds a way through that mess and up now to 19th position. It is 10th in class. Side by side for Fritsch and Gatter ahead. Gatter falls behind. Pike has fallen to a second behind Nick Clibbins and does have the charging Tom Davidson behind. Tom Davidson has won a race so far this season. Davidson winning back in Monza in the 3rd race of the day, looking to try and take a podium here if he can get past Andrew Pike. Pike has had a fantastic race, of course, moving up 5 class positions since the start. Tom Davidson moving up 6 of those. Of course, for the pro class, they need overall positions to get their points. Pro-Ams just need their class positions. Kieran Sharp continuing to run fast laps out the front. He puts in yet another pole position, another fastest lap. It's a 39.2, which actually I believe is faster than what they put in for the pole position lap time. That is an extremely quick lap there as this fight here continues on. Pike closing up to about 7/10 to Nick Clibbins now. So we could see a potential three-way fight for second position in the race if this continues at the moment. 3 minutes on the clock. I expect 2 more laps at the end of this one. We ride on board with Tom Davidson. Davidson chasing down Andrew Pike for third. Pike chasing down Nick Clibbins for second. It is the 2 teammates, of course, Pike and Davidson. Are they going to work together to catch up to Clibbins, or are they going to do a little bit of inter-team fighting here? Of course, they are teammates, but there is no team's championship in the Mazda series. That means that each driver racing there out there for individual points, but there is still some teamwork obviously going on between each of the teams and between each of those friends that are out there on the circuit. That being said, though, Davidson going for a different line on Pike, looking to do a switch back out of the final corner perhaps, and that doesn't quite work, but a huge slide from second position. Nick Clibbins will open the door for Andrew Pike and Tom Davidson. Back marker on the left-hand side of the circuit there, not going to be involved in this fight, but Tom Davidson is going to look for the move to the inside of Andrew Pike. It's going to be side by side onto the brakes, and it is going to be through for the 54 machine of Tom Davidson, but the 57 of Andrew Pike tries to get back through, not able to do it, will fall to fourth right now. That has given Nick Clibbins just a little bit of breathing space at the moment, but these 2 teammates are going to continue pushing. Next lap is expected to be the last lap. Can they close it up to Clibbins? Can Pike recover to get back onto the podium? As this is Adrian Fritsch, he's got major damage on the front left-hand side of the car, but as long as you haven't got suspension damage in these Mazdas don't really mean much. It basically is, it's cosmetic rather than actually anything else, and these cars can continue running at the pace that they normally would. And that being said, Fritsch is going to be able to get past Andy Outhouse as Outhouse runs wide and lets Fritsch through. Craig Jones here chasing down Zara McGuinness. Jones recovering obviously from the spin earlier on. McGuinness up the inside as McDougall and Dory alternate positions as well in a fight going on there. As McDougall falls behind Dory, Craig Jones has been able to dispatch Zara McGuinness, but McGuinness trying to hold it now on the wider line here. They are going to run side by side. McGuinness is going to be able to hold more speed on that wider line and is going to have Lee Horn pushing her along. So Zara McGuinness moves up to 20th. Lee Horn in the pro class pushing that through. And now Horn will go for the overtake around the outside. McGuinness not going to fight that one too hard, but that has allowed, here comes Craig Jones once again, and Jones actually gets the inside line. McGuinness running a slightly wide line, won't be able to hold on to that one. Adam Delmont has moved up to 13th, is running the fastest out there at the moment as we are now onto the white flag lap, but after spinning from third on the grid, he's down in 13th, but what this will do is place him in a very good position for the race to reverse. Top 15 reversed for that one, of course. He moves up to 12th. That should put him 4th on the grid right now. The man who is going to get pole for a second race in a row looks like it's going to be Isaac Doble. He got the pole from qualifying. It looks like he's going to get the pole for being in the top 15 reversed here, because he is in that 15th place slot. He's out there on dry tyres. Of course, he was running rather well until he got some damage rear-ending Clibbins under the safety car. As it is going to be Kieran Sharp leading the field around the circuit here. Kieran Sharp, for the first time this season, is going to take a win in the NXTGEN Racing's Mazda MX5 Cup. He comes across the line. Who is going to get second? Nick Clibbins and Tom Davidson. A drag race to the line. It goes in Clibbins' direction by just 1/100th of a second between them. extremely close as they come out of that final turn and sprint it up towards the line. Andrew Pike comes home in 4th. Phil McDougall wins that class. As more fighting across the line here from drivers as they head around. Issues from Matt Gatter right at the end here. Oh, that looks like a self-spin there, straight into the wall. Major issues for Matt Gatter. Here he comes. Yep, onto the curbing, and in these wet conditions, you just don't want to do that. A huge amount of damage there, but we'll get that car around and to the line, hopefully, as actually major damage is going to have to... Okay, Matt Gatter gets it going again, and we'll get that up towards the timing line. That is going to be a 21st position for Matt Gatter, as he did get it around and get that position in the books, but not in the way that probably would have been hoping for. Race number 1 then over and done with. Let us have a look at how those races ended up at the end of this one. So, race number 1 of 3 today. It was Kieran Sharp who took the win in that one. 2 seconds ahead of Nick Clibbins. Tom Davidson just not able to find that time. Just about to get that 2nd place, and will come home in 3rd. Andrew Pike will be in 4th position. Phil McDougall will hold on to 5th ahead of Alan McCain. Jamie Dory came home in 7th position on his dry tyres, the highest driver on dry tyres. Mark Sykes came home in 8th ahead of Carl Thompson and Adam Wilson-Weir. Then it was Isaac Doble who came home in 11th, recovering after having to pit under the safety car, finishing ahead of brother Mikey Doble. Harry Gaylor would then finish that race in 13th place. 14th was to Mark Hughes. Adrian Futch in 15th ahead of Andy Outhouse. Lee Horn took home 17th in that one ahead of Craig Jones, Zara McGuinness and Sam Smith. We then saw Matt Gatter take home 21st ahead of Gavin Gardner. Adam Delman came home 23rd in the end. More issues towards the end of that one for one of the championship contenders. Sean Connolly came home in 24th with James Parfit, the final man on the lead lap. Nigel Stock and Michael Croft both a lap down. Matthew Sheverton 2 laps down. Craig Twa got 3, and Harry McGovern down and out of the race 4 laps down on that one. Race number 1 over and done with then, and let's see if we are able to find anyone to pull across and have a quick chat with following that race. Let's have a look at who I've got available and what results we had in that race, because I always like to pull some of those that are sitting more towards the top, and also how I know how their races went in that one. In fact, do you know what? We're going to pull one of the championship contenders across here who certainly did not have the race he wanted. It started in the worst way possible, and it just continued with that towards the end, Adam.
Aye, mate. Yeah. You know, got a little bit. Obviously, a couple of us started on slick, so we were just a little bit slow and a little bit wiggly getting off the line, and I just got tagged, which put me down a bit. But you know, we're making steady progress, mate. Coming through, ready. You know, prime position for a really good start for race 2. And Mark Hughes decided to just, you know, send me into a wall and turn that into a DNF, which is, you know, great.
I was going to say, we were talking about the fact that you were going to be involved in quite a good position for that reverse grid, but now you'll be starting the next race then from down in 25th position. It's going to be a hard move through. It's going to be a lot wetter than this one. How are you feeling about heading into that from so far down the order?
On pace, etc., feel fine, but it's going to be getting through, mate. You know, this is not where I want it to be. That race alone was probably, you know, an easier session than what's coming, and people were already struggling to hold on to it and, you know, avoiding cars left, right and centre. So I'm not fancying my chances, but to be fair, you know, it's going to be quite some luck's going to be sat with me if I can manage to get through the field without, you know, getting collected with anything. So we'll see. Well, you know, it might happen.
Well,
probably not.
Good luck with that, and yeah, hopefully it will come on your side as well.
No worries, thank you.
All right, that was Adam Delmont there, who finished that one down in 25th position and not doing as well as he would have hoped, as you saw there. As let's see who else is around and available. And actually, we're going to quickly have a word with one of the drivers who was sat on the dry compound tyres, the highest dry runner by the end of that one. Was it the right choice to go on to dries, Jamie?
I think if I had skill, then yeah, possibly could have. The end of the race was quick on them, so yeah.
Finishing that one in 7th, then it was a good result. As I said, you were the highest of all the dry tyre runners, and importantly for your championship, you beat Mikey Doble by what, 5 positions?
Yeah, so obviously Delmont and Mikey and that are people that I'm racing against, so they're the ones I want to try and beat.
You've done a good job doing that as well. Of course, Kieran Sharp taking the win there. He'll be up there now in the top of the championship following that race. So with the reverse grid, you're going to be starting in, if I can do my quick maths, about 7th or 8th position in that one. Do you feel like you're going to be able to make the move through? It's going to be a lot wetter than this one, of course.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's a lottery when it's raining, so fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
Good luck with that one, Jamie, and have fun in the wet here.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
That was Jamie Dory coming home in that one in 7th position in the end after that. And we will be preparing ourselves then for the next race of the day. We will be back in just a moment's time, so make sure that you don't go anywhere so that you can catch race number 2. The top 15 results there will be reversed, which means Adrian Fritsch will be starting the next race on pole position with Mark Hughes alongside on the front row. We'll be back in a moment's time. Hello and welcome back to the streets of Long Beach here for round number 4 of the NXTGEN Racing's Mazda MX5 Cup. We have already had one race go down. That was put on pole by Isaac Doble, but it was Kieran Sharp who took his first win of the season, and Phil McDougall taking his third class win in the Pro-Am field. Only the second driver to do that, the only other driver to take 3 wins in the Pro-Am field this season has been Craig Twardock, who has moved up to the pros. However, it is likely that no more drivers will be swapped around between the classes, as this will mark the halfway point in this season. As you can see, the rain is coming down here in the Californian city as we prepare ourselves for the second race of the day. Drivers are out there on dry compounder tyres during this warm-up session. They are seeing whether it is going to be possible to get there on the dries. Of course, there was no rain before the session here, so that means the circuit itself is relatively dry until this rain is beginning to fall. But as you can see, as it stops there, it is still very inconsistent. So even though our weather is looking like it is going to have showers throughout the course of this race, it is a very on and off, and the conditions that we're going to see in the race are going to be interesting, as there's a huge old spin out in front of the camera just there as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the conditions do during this race, what tyres drivers are going to go out on. I'm expecting to see a field full of wet tyres with the anticipated heavy load of rain that is to come. But that being said, of course, we're not sure what the drivers are going to do up until the point they head out onto the grid and we see what tyres are strapped onto each of them. We will talk you through the grid in just a moment's time, but it will be the race 1 results with the top 15 reversed. Of course, what that does mean is that we'll see our race winner, Kieran Sharp, starting down in 15th position. We were talking to Adam Delmont before this one, and he will be starting outside the top 20. He was in with a chance of being included in the reverse grid, but a late contact placed him down the order, and that does mean that he is going to struggle a fair bit finding his way through cleanly, not only with the conditions that we are expecting, but this tight street circuit is relentless nonetheless. So it is going to be hard to move from the back of the field towards the front of the field, even if it does remain relatively dry. But that being said, this session is going to come to a close in just a moment's time, and the drivers will start to grid up. So not only will we be able to see the true conditions that we'll get for the second race of the day, we'll see what tyre compound each of them are going to be running. As we're high above the streets of the city there, we can see the road course to the right-hand side of the circuit and the wonderful sea stretching out there as well. This session then ticking to a close, and we will get ourselves onto the grid for race number 2. It will be a lapped race this time, not a timed race, as long as Jamie Dory has remembered to switch it across, and it does look like he has. So 10 laps expected in this one rather than the 9 that we achieved in the last one. But let's have a look then at how this race is going to start. It is going to be Adrian Fritsch on pole position ahead of Mark Hughes. Carrie Gaylor will start in 3rd, with Mikey Doble in 4th, just ahead of Isaac Doble, both of them looking for a 2nd win this season, as is Adam Wilson-Weir, who will start in 6th position. 7th will be Carl Thompson ahead of Mark Sykes. Jamie Dory starts in 9th, still hunting his first win of the season. Alan McCain in 10th position. Andrew Pike will start 11th ahead of Tom Davidson. 13th position will be Nick Clibbins ahead of Kieran Sharp, and Andy Outhouse will on 14th. That being said, only 14 drivers reverse out. It looks like we are missing a driver from our reverse. We're missing a couple of drivers from the second race of the day. That means Kieran Sharp, our race winner, will start in 14th, not 15th. Andy Outhouse in 15th position ahead of Lee Horn. Craig Jones in 17th ahead of Zara McGuinness in 18th position. 19th position will be Sam Smith ahead of Matt Gatter. Gavin Gardner will start in 21st ahead of James Parfitt, followed by Sean Connolly and Adam Delmont. Nigel Stock will start in 25th ahead of Michael Clough and Matthew Sheverton. And for the second race of the day, Craig Twardock will start from the back of the field in 28th position. Drivers then all getting themselves out, and it is a field of wet tyres, excluding Nigel Stock. Nigel Stock is out there on a set of dry tyres. Now, it's not raining at the moment, but Nigel Stock is the only man out on the grid right this second who is on the dry compound tyres. He is the only man on the grid going on dries. So Nigel Stock could be starting fast, but when that rain begins to fall, it's going to be the most amount of rain in all 3 races. It could be some issues. 10 laps will be on the clock. There they are, 10 laps to prepare ourselves. Drivers, we'll get ready to get underway for the second race of the day here. Round number 4, they are away, and it is a slow launch from Mikey Doble in 4th position. It is a jump start for Harry Gaylor, and you can just see how wet that circuit is. The dry tyre choice from Nigel Stock may already be the wrong choice to go. It is 3 wide up towards turn number 1. Harry Gaylor backs out of that one with the black flag. There's no reason to risk an incident, and somehow multiple 3 wides there. They all get through at the moment, but there's a spin up ahead into the wall. Around goes Mark Sykes, and around also goes Alan McCain here, as well as a couple of drivers knocked around at the start of this race, falling down the order. And that has helped out a number of other drivers. Adrian Fritsch off the start, down to 4th position. It is Mark Hughes who has gone to the front of this field. Isaac Doble in second ahead of Mikey Doble. Adrian Fritsch is side by side now with Harry Gaylor. Gaylor is going to need to come down pit lane to serve his penalty, however, so he is not going to fight it too hard at this stage. Sam Smith trying to get around the outside of Matt Gatton. Fat Smith has got some major bodywork damage. He goes extremely deep, as that was then Outhouse into the wall as well. Craig Twardock coming through. That's Smith and Clough getting contact side by side, and around goes Smith, and Clough collects this. Gavin Gardiner in that one as well. Adam Delmont said he needed to stay out of other people's issues. That has not happened. Delmont gets some front end damage, and that is going to be for the second time today. The safety car is out yet again here at Long Beach. Here he comes, as Isaac Doble is going to take the lead across the line, and Isaac Doble is going to lead here onto the safety car for the second race. This means that the only person he can drive into the back of now is going to be the safety car, and I don't think race control is going to take that too lightly. So he's going to be hoping does get issues this time, but this, for the second race of the day, will be the safety car. And that being said as well, Jamie Dory was saying earlier on to me that he thinks that we are going to see safety cars in all 3 races. He's certainly on track with that one at the moment. This is Clibbins then. This was the initial bit of contact we saw car go round. Oh no, this was, oh look at that huge amount of damage. That's where so many cars picked up all of their damage in that one, as they were all just getting caught up, and you can just see here McCain, part of the initial bit of contact and then getting caught up in a little bit more. Adam Wilson-Weir. Oh no, this was not more contact, this was afterwards, so I think this is just a back straight again. And again, just a huge amount of contact along the back end of the lap here, and a real shame. So for the second time today, the safety car is going to be out. Isaac Doble is going to lead the way under the safety car here, as we look back off of the rear of the safety car. Mark Hughes will be in second position. Mikey Doble will be in third on the restart. Adrian Fritsch will be in fourth. And it'll be Jamie Dory, currently inside the top 5, just ahead of Adam Wilson-Weir, sitting in 6th. Andrew Pike will start the restart in 7th position. Kieran Sharp in 8th, looking to get back up to the front, possibly take his second win of the season here. Only one other driver has done that. That's Adam Delmont. Delmont right now down in 25th position. Tom Davidson also could potentially take a second win as well. He sits in 9th. Lee Horn rounds out your top 10 at the moment. Rest of the field on your left-hand side. But Doble could go, both Dobles could go for a second win of the season here. Jamie Dory could go for a first win of the season. Wilson Weir could go for a second win here. Sharp a second win. Davidson a second win. Pike, Horn, Dory, Fritz, Hughes, all of them in chance with a first win around this second race of the day. Hughes and Fritz, could go for his first class win. Mark Hughes got the class win at the third race of asking in Zandvoort, so could potentially repeat his feat there. We are going to see, of course, 10 laps in this race, even with the safety car, because it is not a timed race this time, it is a lapped race. As I keep on looking at my stats here, I had to write everything. I printed out an entire sheet of all my stats because remembering off the top of my head was becoming difficult as this season heads into the halfway point. 4 rounds done, but of course 4 rounds done will mean 12 races completed, and there was no way I was keeping track of all those winners on the top of my head, definitely when there are 2 classes in each of those as well. But it is going to be Isaac Doble out the front. Of course, he's been in with a chance to take the win a number of times this season. He went around in Monza in his battle for the win. He went around in an early race at Brands Hatch in a battle for the win before he finally got a win at race 3. Had some issues at Zandvoort. The man, he wasn't able to take the win there, but could he find his way back to the front? He got pole position here, of course. If it's going to be a repeat of Brands Hatch as we get ourselves prepared for the restart here, it is going to be a repeat of the way it went with Brands Hatch the last time you had rain. The man who got pole position for race number 1 went on to win race number 2. So could that happen with Isaac Doble here out front? Could he got the pole for race 1? It didn't go his way, it went Kieran Sharp's way, but can he now make it go his way for the for race number 2? Let's wait and find out. When is Doble going to go? Is it going to be straight away on the exit? Yes, it is. And that was a slight wobble there from Hughes on the exit as well. Isaac Doble comes up towards the line to take the restart on lap number 4 as we go on to 7 more laps of asking as the leaders come across the timing line. Of course, they can't overtake until they're past that timing line, which means most of them going single file as they dive up towards turn number 1. Talking about diving, will we see Mikey Doble dive past Mark Hughes? He doesn't. Putting Hughes under pressure though, pressure that puts Hughes just touching the wall. Doble having to touch his brakes there as he tries to get through to second. Of course, the Dobles are yet to get a 1-2 this season. This is a perfect opportunity if they can dispatch Mark Hughes here, because it'll place 2 Pro-Am drivers as Hughes slides and goes around. He holds it, no, he keeps it out of the barrier, but Mark Hughes loses a lot of space as he has to throw it into reverse to recover that position. Behind, Andrew Pike on the outside of Adam Wilson-Weir. Gets up towards the barrier, isn't able to make that move. Up ahead, Jamie Dory now looking to get past Adrian Fritsch as well to try and take third position. Dory had to slam on the brakes. Fritsch slides as well on the exit. But these conditions not as bad as most people were expecting, certainly not as bad as I was expecting, as Pike is back side by side with Wilson-Weir. Dory goes to the inside, we'll have Pike directly behind. Wilson-Weir stuck on the outside line with Fritsch there. It is going to stay the outside, but it will switch across to the inside and the long left-hander. How is it going to play out into the hairpin here? Who is going to get the faster run through the turn? It is Jamie Dory ahead. Andrew Pike follows through, but Fritsch is going to get the speed on the exit here. Being able to run the wider line really helps on those tight corners, and therefore Adrian Fritsch holds on to 4th position. Doble leads by 3.5 seconds over Mikey Doble. Jamie Dory onto the podium. If either of the Dobles can win, it'll be a second win this season. Jamie Dory looking for his first, and here goes a potential move from Adam Wilson-Weir. He can see Andrew Pike and Fritsch fighting out as Fritsch goes into the wall as he has got major damage. What is that? That is, I think, broken suspension. It is broken suspension. That rear left tyre dragging along. That is the first time I have ever seen anything like that before. As that's so weird. That is extremely strange. But we'll jump back up then as we look back to the fight towards the front. And right now Adam Wilson-Weir has moved up to 5th position. Andrew Pike holds on to 4th after that move on Fritsch that has sent Fritsch down and out of the race with some incredible suspension damage. Clibbins goes around again. Issues for Nick Clibbins. Issues before the safety car, issues after the safety car, comes alongside Sam Smith, the teammate of both those cars, and the third one, all of the team having major issues, and that car of Sam Smith just looks like it's been in a destruction derby race, but in these Mazdas, that's not actually going to be doing much to affect him. He'll be going around with pretty much the top speed of these machines anyway, but Adam Delmont is involved in sorry, Adam Delmont has got past all of this. It's Andy Outhouse. Oh my word, this is Andy Outhouse. I mean, that was an interesting way to get yourself around. Let's see what happened in this one, as that certainly was one way to get yourself facing the right way, but not the best way of doing it. A lot of cars around and getting involved in that one. Is it contact up the inside? It is. It's just a momentary touch of contact. There goes Delmont on the outside, but that he should not have reversed. He should not have reversed. He should have waited where he was. And look at that, just collecting so many people, but almost getting another one involved in that as well. He should have stayed where he was until the rest of the field had all moved through. Yes, he was holding 2 drivers up, but they were already stopped. So he should have stayed there, but the race continues for those at the front. And Isaac Doble now 4.5 seconds out of Mikey Doble. We knew Isaac Doble was fast. He was running fast lap times 4, beaten only by Kieran Sharp, who has moved into 6th position in this race and is involved in this pack of drivers in the 023 machine, but he is running extremely quick. Mikey Doble, though, is also in himself 2 seconds ahead of Jamie Dory. Dory holding up this pack of drivers now and trying to hold on to his podium position. Of course, this hairpin going to be extremely hard for the man with a broken left hand. Broke it yesterday, so it's freshly broken, not even really started to heal at this point. And he is out there in these Mazdas on quite a tight circuit in the wet as well. It's going to be a challenge for him, but he is placing his car perfectly to keep himself involved in this fight. And at the front of the train, man at the back of the train by about a second, Lee Horn. He can see all of these drivers up ahead as Tom Davidson is the fastest man out there. He sits in 7th. Car coming out of pit lane will be trying to stay out of the way of all the cars coming through. That's Adrian Fritsch after his contact, and he has stayed out of the way as this train of drivers continues to head on through with 4 laps to go, including this one. But right now they are just a train of drivers. Nobody really sure where to go, where to find that speed. But we were expecting rain and quite a bit of it. I'm looking up at the skies and wondering where exactly is it, because it's not here. Side by side up ahead right now, that was Sharp looking to the outside of Wilson Weir. Switches back across, though. It'll be the outside line through the right-hander, and we've seen that outside line can work out quite nicely with speed, but doesn't have the overlap. But it is a slide from Adam Wilson Weir. That's going to give Kieran Sharp the speed. Sharp is going to be able to make that move, and will Tom Davidson be able to follow Sharp through as Andrew Pike is looking to get into 3rd. Pike finished 4th in the first race of the day, looking to beat that in this one and get back onto that podium that he really, really wanted in the first race. Can he find his way there as we head through the final hairpin? Jamie Dory getting it through nicely there ahead of Pike. Looking at the interval on the left-hand side, it closes just a small amount. Doble, Isaac Doble, the fastest man out there, has a 5-second lead over Mikey Doble right now. But like I said, this is the first time we're going to see the brothers go 1-2 if it stays the way that it is right now. Jamie Dory, though, has Andrew Pike look towards the inside. Pike looking for the podium here. It's side by side up to turn number 1. Dory's going to have to let Pike have that through the turn. And now it's going to be in attacking mode. What is Andrew Pike going to do? Go defensive or just try and put the speed in? It's going to have to be defensive because Jamie Dory is all over the rear right behind here. That was Mikey Doble just touching the wall. That was the little squeak that you heard. It was him scraping the barriers. He has no damage with that, though. You can scrape the barriers around this circuit without many issues as we continue around right now. Andrew Pike leading Jamie Dory by about 0.5 of a second as they come through the left-hander, and Dory now going to be running side by side. It'll be the outside line here, and doesn't have the overlap. Dory could potentially have Kieran Sharp look to the inside, as he's got these TSRC drivers all around him. He's got one ahead, two behind him. He's going to feel a little bit like a sitting duck if they're able to work together to dispatch him, but he is doing a great job at the moment to hold on to fourth and potentially have another look back through past Andrew Pike, as we see Carl Thompson down with issues. More issues down behind as well. That's Matthew Cheverton involved, and it looks like Adrian Fritsch has got involved in that one as well. What has happened here? It's Fritsch has gone around in the first place, and then there's another spin. The 774 comes around with him, so two separate incidents in that one that they were both getting through. As Jamie Dory now side by side with Andrew Pike up to turn number one. Dory with the speed this time, but Pike with the inside line. Dory again is going to have to give it to Pike, looking for a way through on the exit. Tries a slightly alternate line. Couldn't quite do it there as we head past the fountain. Dory's going to have one more opportunity through turn number one if he can't make it through the rest of this lap at the moment. As the drivers hold on through, and Jamie Dory spins! A huge spin for Jamie Dory, battling for third, and Dory drops down to 8th position. That would have been really hard to hold that slide with a broken hand. But Adam Wilson-Weir now looking to fight with Lee Horn. They're fighting it out for 6th position at the moment. Lee Horn makes that move though, but and actually is going to get that one as Wilson-Weir allows Horn to have that inside line. But a real shame there for Jamie Dory. But here comes Wilson-Weir going back at it to the outside now of Lee Horn onto the brakes. He can hold that outside line. It will turn into the left-hander inside line. Can't quite do it at the moment. Wilson-Weir looking to get back into 6th place past Lee Horn, as Tom Davidson and Kieran Sharp fighting out right now. Sharp is doing a great job, of course, coming from 14th with the reverse grid and up to 4th right now, maximising his points. But his championship rival, Isaac Doble, is doing a great job. He is smashing the field right now. 6.5 seconds clear with the fastest lap of the race. Isaac Doble is looking to take his second win of the season, his first since Brands Hatch. As Harry Gaylor and Carl Thompson run side by side. Gaylor gets past Thompson to the inside as they head across the timing line to get onto their last lap of the race. They are still side by side here with Thompson, who will have the inside line up towards turn number one. How are they going to run it here? Thompson and Gaylor. Gaylor on the outside line, Thompson on the inside. Gavin Gardner has been caught up in a couple of issues. He sits behind. Thompson looks to the inside though to try and get it up the inside of Harry Gaylor. Can't do that, and Gaylor is going to be in 14th position right now in this one. Michael Clough gets to the inside of Matthew Cheverton and will take 7th in class. Cheverton is not going to take that lying down though. Looks to try and get back through. Can't do that. You can see the damage on Clough's machine. But that shows you the power of these Mazdas. It really doesn't matter what the front end of your car looks like. As long as you've got an engine underneath you, it will produce all the power you require. Tom Davidson on the back end of Kieran Sharp here, and is going to go for it on his teammate to the inside for 4th position. It's side by side. Kieran Sharp on the outside line. Tom Davidson on the inside. It's going to swap back around here, but it looks like it is going to go Tom Davidson's way. But how is it going to happen? Through the final turn, Davidson going for the inside line. Sharp stuck on the ultra wide line. It is going to be Tom Davidson, but Isaac Doble is going to win the race with the fastest lap of the race as well. Mikey Doble comes to lost line for 2nd. Andrew Pike for 3rd, ahead of Tom Davidson. Kieran Sharp, Lee Horn, Adam Wilson-Weir in 7th. Adam Delmont from the outside the top 20, major issues on his car, is going to take home 8th position here as Jamie Dory. What is going on with Jamie Dory's car? That is hugely broken as he slams into the wall with major issues. What has happened to Jamie Dory? After the spin, Dory has had a major issue occur for him, because that was some serious suspension damage. And I think it might be through the right-hander that we've seen a couple of... 1 minute, no, that That's already bouncing around a fair bit. Has he already broken the suspension? No. Oh, there's the hit. I mean, he might have already had some damage to his suspension nonetheless, but that certainly wouldn't have been helping as he drops down and finishes this one in 10th position. But it was a win for Isaac Doble. Mikey Doble coming home in second. It is the first time that the brothers have finished 1-2 this season, and they will enjoy that one, as I have lost my pen to write down the race results, and I don't know what I've done with it. I'll have to do it during the break. And a win for Matt Gatter in the Pro-Am field. That is Gatter's first class win as well, so great job for him in this one. Let's have a look through the results here from the second of 3 races today. It was a win for Isaac Doble, 7.5 seconds clear over Mikey Doble. Andrew Pike took home third in this one, and it was fourth for Tom Davidson. Fifth position was Kieran Sharp taking the win in race 1. Came back through the field very nicely in that second race to take a top 5. Lee Horn took home 6th ahead of Adam Wilson-Weir. Adam Delmont came home in 8th position with Matt Gatter in 9th. And Jamie Dory in 10th position coming across that line. And it was just a swap on the line between Gatter and Dory with Dory's issues that he was having. Mark Sykes came home 11th overall. Nick Clibbins came home in 12th ahead of Harry Gaylor. Craig Twaddock took home 14th ahead of Carl Thompson and Gavin Gardner. Zara McGuinness finished that one in 17th ahead of Mark Hughes. Michael Clough in 19th and Matthew Cheverton in 20th place. 21st place was Sam Smith. Craig Jones was in 22nd ahead of Alan McCain. Nigel Stock took home 24th position in that race in the end. James Parfitt finishing a lap down along with Adrian Fritsch. Andy Outhouse came in 27th, 2 laps down, and Sean Connolly out of the race. We, of course, still have one more race left to go in this one, but before we head across to a very quick break, we are going to have a very quick chat with a couple of drivers if we are able to find some people that I want to talk to, basically. And I would pull across, if I can. There's a lot of drivers sitting in this chat, and I'm trying to see where they are in this one. And I'm actually going to pull in one of the newer drivers then for today. We've got Harry Gaylor there, start that race. Found his way up the field and finished third in class, and some good fights going on there, getting involved with a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there, Harry, but a good result for you in class, getting that podium. As I realised that I was actually muted during that, Harry. I do apologise. That was a third position in class there for you. A great result in your first weekend, your first evening here in the league, and a great result for you then with your fights that you were having throughout the race.
Yeah, it was very good, thanks. Just trying to battle the car and not spin round. I had a few dodgy moments, almost completely 360 in, but I managed to keep control, and it was good fun overall.
I say you had some good fights, not just with those in your class. You had the pro drivers around you as well. You managed to get through it. There was, you say, a lot of cars going around. I don't think it was as wet as people were expecting that race to be. I'm sure that made it a lot easier for you out there, but there was still a lot of issues going around. Did you find yourself a little bit of moments where you're like, that could have gone a lot worse than it did, and you managed to just get your way through?
I definitely struggled heavily, just trying to work my way through. But there was quite a few crashes where I managed to avoid and get no damage, which helped me finish the race in a decent position. So I'm happy with that.
Well, a great result for you then, and with the full reverse grid means that you're going to be a lot further down the order in your class. But are you hoping that it might be another race that you can find your way through and take advantage of some other mistakes?
Yep, hoping it's wet, because then I have an advantage, I think, because I seem to control it quite well, which I'm happy about. So, yeah.
Well, good luck in the third and final race of the day, Harry, and hopefully you'll find your way through the order once more.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was Harry Gaylor there, who finished third in class, 13th overall for the Pro-Am field there. It was a good result for him, as he said. A lot of incidents up and down the field in that one, and one of those drivers towards the front who managed to avoid quite a few of the incidents, tried to get involved in that fight towards the end as well to pull himself into a podium position. It's Lee Horn.
Good evening, Joseph. How you doing?
Well, that was a great race for you there. You got into a good old scrap with the drivers around you. Of course, Jamie Dory up there with you before his spin towards the end. Were you hoping for a little bit more than 6th? I mean, you were right there on the podium.
Yeah, it was close. I could see everyone was there, and I was thinking, do you know what? There's a good opportunity here. But the boys in front of me, TSRC, I've probably got their team wrong. But I know they're not easy to get by. I always have good battles with Tom and Andrew and all of them in that team. So I wasn't confident about going much further forward without some mistakes, to be fair. But happy with the P6, considering started P16, made some mistakes in the first race, so disappointed with that. But I'm fairly happy with P6, to be fair. In these conditions, it's not easy out there. It's so greasy.
It is extremely greasy, as you say. It's not as wet as I think we were expecting, but I think the greasy conditions makes it actually deceptively easier than you think it would be, and yeah, you just go around. So reverse grid means that you're going to find yourself towards the back of the field. You said you started in 16th in that one. You were able to move your way through. Do you think you'll be able to do the same in the third race?
Yes, I hope so. I mean, looking at the weather, it looks like it's going to be bone dry, which will be the only race this round. So it looks like the sun's out, some cloud. There is no rain forecast. So yeah, I'm hoping to. My target's always top 10. I had great results last week. I was joint third overall with a points haul over 3 races. So if I can try and make some good positions up here and get a good points haul in this race, I'll salvage obviously the poor race one. So looking forward to trying to get that top 10 if I can.
Well, good luck, Lee, and hopefully, yep, you'll find your way back into that top 10 in the final race of the day.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
That was Lee Horn there, fighting in that battle that went all the way up to the podium, coming home in 6th in that one. But as you say, he was very happy in that one, moving up the order quite nicely. We will have the final race of the day coming your way in just a moment's time. So don't go anywhere, except for getting yourself a nice cup of tea, perhaps, as I have been doing during the breaks. And get yourself ready for the final race of the day. It's the longest one. It's a full reverse grid. It's going to be fantastic. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back here to the Long Beach Street Circuit as we are preparing ourselves for the third and final round of the day for here at round number 4 for the NXTGEN Racing's Mazda MX5 Cup. It is going to be the halfway point of the season when this race draws to a close. And it is going to be the one and only dry race of the day as well, which means that our drivers are used to the wet conditions, the greasy, slippery conditions, and they are all going to say goodbye to those. They are going to find their slick tyres and head out there around a very dry Long Beach circuit. Of course, a little bit wet there around the fountain as the fountain continues to spew water. Luckily, no drivers have found themselves in that fountain. They found themselves pretty close with a couple of incidents going through. Let's see if Jamie Dory's prediction remains true, as he did say that he expects to see the safety car in all 3 of the races this evening. We have seen it come out in the first 2. The last time we saw a safety car in all 3 races of the day was back at Monza, and in that 3rd race we actually saw the red flag come out as well, which is a very rare thing to happen in NXTGEN leagues. I don't expect that to happen today because driving standards are not the issue. It is just generally a very tricky circuit, and the conditions have amplified the difficulty of the circuit and the car getting around it, of course. So we should see what will be a nice race in the dry, but with it being a full reverse grid, we're going to see a number of drivers trying to squeeze their way through, move up the positions, and therefore we can expect a number of incidents. It's certainly not going to be a clean race. Will that bring out the safety car? If you're Jamie Dory, you think yes. If you're anyone watching, you might think yes, you might think no. Whatever you might think, it's certainly one to think about as we prepare to start this final race of the day with our full reverse grid. And that being said, we are about to get across to the race session, and therefore we can have a look at how the grid is going to line itself up as we prepare ourselves for this final race of the day. The longest race of the day as well. We've just gone 2 races that are about 15 minutes long, 9 laps in race number 1, 10 laps in race number 2. It is going to be 17 laps here. It is much longer than the other races have been so far. And with that being said, then let's have a look at how the grid is going to line up. And it is going to be Adrian Fritsch who starts this one on pole position yet again. He was on pole position for race number 2, I believe. James Parfitt will start in 2nd position ahead of Nigel Stock. Alan McCain will start in 4th ahead of Craig Jones and Sam Smith. Then we will see Matthew Cheverton in 7th ahead of Michael Clough. Mark Hughes will start in 9th, and Zara McGuinness rounds out your top 10 on the grid here. Gavin Gardner will be your highest pro driver. Carl Thompson will start in 12th position. Craig Twargott in 13th. It's just pros on the left, pro-ams on the right here, as Harry Gaylor starts in 14th. Nick Clibbins in 15th, and Mark Seitz in 16th. Jamie Dory will start in 17th ahead of Matt Gattup, followed by a whole host of pros. Adam Delmont in 19th. Adam Wilson-Weir in 20th. Lee Horn in 21st ahead of Kieran Sharp. Tom Davidson will start in 23rd ahead of Andrew Pike in 24th position. Mikey Doble will start in 25th, and winner of race number 2, Isaac Doble, will start in 26th position. Andy Outhouse will start in 27th, and Sean Connolly in 28th. Neither of those involved in the reverse grid. And Phil McDougall, who missed the start time for race number 2, is back for race number 3 and will start from the rear of the field. The drivers then lining themselves up for what is going to be 17 laps of action. It is dry out there. The sun is starting to set. And if it's anything like last week at Zandvoort, we see the lights switch on about halfway through the race for our drivers as they prepare themselves for 17 laps of racing action. The lights are going to be up and they are going to get onto their loud pedals. They're going to release the clutch in just a moment's time as the lights will go out and we will go green. It's a jump start for Sean Connolly. Not what he needs at the back of this field, and he will have to visit pit lane straight away in this race. Fritsch gets across onto the racing line with a really nice launch there. James Parfitt, though, looking up towards the inside here at turn number 1. In fact, Parfitt loses out to Nigel Stock who gets through on the outside line, and there's contact behind. Huge issues there, as that is now most of the field involved. As that's the whole field involved, and we will definitely see a safety car following that one. Drivers managed to get their way out the other side, but not without damage as they all head around. This is how Gala, looking to the inside of Zara McGuinness, makes that move through. Gala gets up to 11th position now. Adam Delmont, looking for recovery, is up in 10th position right now. Looking to the inside of Hughes, gets up to 9th. Adrian Fritsch has had a great launch away, but you can see the top three, a huge gap back to Craig Jones following that one, with some major issues at the start. Continuing to have fights as these are the Doble brothers on the right-hand side of the circuit, looking to move through as other drivers ahead going side by side. You can see the dented bodywork as they head up towards the braking zone. That was Kieran Sharp looking defensive on the inside line, trying to keep Mikey Doble behind. Mikey Doble ahead of Isaac Doble there, as they've remained in the formation on the grid that they were. As just up ahead, Kieran Sharp is 3 wide actually, and that's Zara McGuinness who falls down the order. In fact, after that one, we don't see the safety car come out. It is going to continue green in this one, and Nigel Stock moves through to the lead of the race as the leading 3 drivers. I think the fact that we haven't got a safety car here, and these 3 drivers now 4.5 seconds clear of the rest of the field, we could see our first overall winner be a Pro-Am driver. We're yet to see that this season, but you can see the gap between Alan McCain and Craig Jones in 4th position. It is 5 seconds. It is a huge amount of time. A lot of drivers down positions at the start here. McCain to the inside of Fritsch, as Fritsch now moves down to 3rd position. In fact, Stock, McCain and Fritsch, none of them have won a race so far this season in class either. So this is an opportunity for all of them to try and find their first class victory here, which, to be fair, all victories seem to be different drivers most of the time, rather than it being repeat drivers. There you go. We finally see the safety car out. He is going to come out of pit lane to the second lap of the race, which is going to close those Pro-Am leaders, and that's around in the final the hairpin. With the safety car coming out, that's Craig Jones around. That is Gavin Gardiner, who was into the wall as drivers try to get through the hairpin without any more contact. They do get through, but that's Gavin Gardiner out. Matt Gatter has been black flagged and will need to come down pit lane as well, as Isaac Doble has been caught up in all of that and has fallen down the order where he started with Mikey Doble. Mikey Doble up to 13th position. Isaac Doble down in 22nd, but we are under safety car for the 3rd time this evening, and it is due to contact on that second lap of the race. Let's have a look then. This was the opening lap of the race. This was the major bit of contact that involved most of the field. Just different cars getting involved in that one, as you can see. Just a huge amount of issues for the drivers, and somehow that didn't call out the safety car. That's what I'm really surprised about, is that one didn't call out the safety car. There were issues then later on for other drivers. Zara McGuinness heavy into the wall there. Isaac Doble actually went around as well. There you go. Contact from Mikey Doble behind though. And that was at turn number 1 of the second lap of asking. So more cars off turn 1. Does anyone else get involved in that one? It looks like for the most part, they all avoid the cars in the end with that. But then was there more? Yeah, then this was the hairpin, of course, after the safety car had already been called out. But there we are. We are under safety car yet again here, and it is Alan McCain who is going to lead the way under the safety car here. It is Nigel Stock in 2nd, Adrian Fritsch in 3rd, Matthew Cheverton, who got moved into the Pro-Am class, this week. He is down in, well, sorry, he is up in 4th position. Nick Clibbins could be on the hunt for his 2nd win this season. He managed to do it at race 2 at Brands Hatch. Can he do it here at race 3 at Long Beach? He'll be hoping so. He sits in 5th. He's got Adam Delmont behind. Delmont has got 2 wins this season. The only 2 drivers to do that is Delmont and Isaac Doble, who managed to do that in race number 2 today. Can Delmont find his 3rd win here today? Adam Wilson-Weir, he did take the win, not on track, but after post-race penalties, Adam Wilson-Weir did win the 3rd and final race at Zandvoort. I mean, Harry Gaylor's up there as well, doing a great job. We talked to Harry. He said that he was hoping that it would be wet because he seemed to have more control in the drive, but he's not doing a bad job here, sitting in 7th position right now and has moved up a significant amount of positions in this race as well. He sits in 7th right now. Lee Horn was hoping to move up the order in the reverse grid. He's found himself inside the top 10 once more, which what he was hoping to do as well. So drivers having a good result here for some of them at least. Mikey Doble in 13th place right now. A lot of drivers with penalties towards the back of the field will be needing to serve those, but Mike Doble's moved up the order with Kieran Sharp. They're 12th and 13th. Craig Braddock's not doing too bad in 14th either. Andrew Pike had a great race 1, a decent race 2, but he's sitting in 18th position at the moment in this one. Isaac Doble just having some issues getting caught by his brother Mikey Doble when there was some incidents up ahead and going around, and he finds himself down in 22nd. Jamie Dory down in 23rd position as drivers who have those penalties are getting them sorted. In fact, this is a really, really slow safety car lap here, and I'm thinking that we are trying to back up the field just a little bit. The last time we saw them running this, though, it was a red flag. I don't think that's going to happen here today. We would have stopped on that back straight if that was the case. However, this is a really slow safety car lap, and I think, and not so much actually letting the drivers behind catch up. I think it's more allowing the drivers in the pit lane to get out of the pit lane and out of the way of these leading drivers. Are we going to see the safety car peeling off? We do not. We continue for a 3rd lap under safety car here. What is a very, very slow safety car lap. In fact, it looks like we're letting someone through. Who was that just flew past? It's James Parfitt who just flew past there. So, yeah, some things happening throughout the field at the moment, but we are going under yet another lap of safety car here as they sort themselves out, and we try to get the field through and recovered. Now, the safety car is not there to allow the field to bunch back up again. It's not there to allow it to pack up. However, the safety car doesn't want to let the leaders go if there are a couple of damaged or slow cars running around just in front of them. So we are going another lap here. I believe it's likely that this will be the last lap on the safety car. Like I said, this is an extremely slow lap and probably one of the slowest safety car runs that we have seen all season long, and I do believe that is because we are allowing drivers to try to pull away from the field and potentially catch to the back. Zara McGuinness was 30 seconds behind the back of this pack last lap, has managed to close that, so Gatta and Parfitt have a bit of an opportunity to get to the back of this field and back onto the lead lap of the race for what will be 11 more laps of asking. But it is 4 Pro-Am drivers at the very front of this field being led by Alan McCain right now. He will have the choice of when to go. At the moment, drivers in the previous 2 races have decided to make that launch and go as soon as they've exited the hairpin, because the drivers behind them can't quite get the amount of grip they need with it being such a tight turn, and it's given them an advantage on the exit. Will that happen again here? Nigel Stock will be thinking about how to make sure he is not losing out on Alan McCain. Safety car peels off there then and will pull away. That means McCain is now in charge of the field, of the pace of the field, and can decide when to go. And in fact, we can already see a slight increase in speed here under this safety car period. Now the safety car has pulled away. When is Alan McCain going to make the choice to accelerate? It's a wide final turn. Is it going to be acceleration straight away? It should be, because Stock is significantly behind, and McCain gets a perfect launch there. Is over a second ahead of Nigel Stock now as they head across the timing line to start the next lap of the race. Adrian Fritsch has got Matthew Cheverton behind. Cheverton moves to the left-hand side of the circuit and will look to the inside, up towards turn number 1 for third position. Can Cheverton make that move? Yes, he does. Can he get it slowed down in time? Yes, he does. Cheverton now up onto the podium. Nick Clibbins just behind. We'll be hoping to get past these Pro-Am drivers and get the overall race win. For the Pro-Am drivers, they take their points from their class results. For the Pro drivers, they must take the overall position because they get their points from the overall results. So Nick Clibbins right now, even though he's the fastest of the Pro drivers, he's leading them all, he will only get the points for 5th position. He is going to want to try and dispatch Adrian Fritsch here. He moves to the left-hand side. It will be the wider line, but we've seen that work out on a number of occasions because you can carry the speed on the exit. It looks like it's going to carry out here, and that was Delmont for just a moment looking to follow Fritsch, and then decides, actually, no, I'm going to follow Clibbins through. Clibbins now moves to the right-hand side, and there could be an overtake for 2nd position as Cheverton looking to try and move up the order. Cheverton up the inside of Nigel Stock, takes 2nd position here and will hold 2nd position ahead of Nigel Stock. Stock now has Clibbins and Delmont behind as they all pile up into the hairpin. Getting through with just minor bits of contact, no major issues there. Adam Wilson-Weir will also get past Fritsch on the exit, but here comes Clibbins to get past Nigel Stock. It's around the outside along the pit straight, but it will be the inside line here up towards turn number 1. Alan McCain has a 3-second lead out the front of this field on the restart. Did a fantastic job, and on that opening lap did an amazing job as well. Clibbins gets past Stock and holds on to 3rd. Here comes Delmont looking to try and get past Stock as well, but Stock just placing it in the exact position where it makes it impossible for Adam Delmont to make the overtake, as there are issues there for Andy Outhouse, I believe, falling down. Orders behind Jamie Dory, Mark Sykes, Sam Smith even getting through as well, as we continue to watch Adam Delmont looking to the inside of Nigel Stock here. There, the lights are all on. I can see smoke in the background as well. And I believe that is Craig Jones who went around in the background. In fact, he is out of the race as well. Harry Gaylor then side by side with Nigel Stock right now. There's a little bit of contact. Gaylor trying to get past Stock to get into 3rd in class right now. He got 3rd in race number 2. If he could repeat that now, that would be amazing. But he does have Adam Wilson-Weir up his inside as well. And that is going to be Gaylor holding it on the outside. Nigel Stock decides to back out of that as Adrian Fritsch and Lee Horn run side by side now up towards the hairpin. Lee Horn gets the overlap, but Fritsch has got the inside line. A little bit of a touch from Fritsch on Stock there, and around goes Mikey Doble. He's had issues throughout this season. They've continued today, and he just gets it out of the way as drivers are able to keep it nice and tight and avoid contact there. Fritsch losing the position to Lee Horn then as they go on to the 8th lap of Asking. Kieran Sharp now will try and make that move to the inside. Sharp has had a great weekend, taking win in race number 1 and getting a great result in race number 2 as well, looking to get another strong result here in race number 3 and potentially take the lead in the championship once all the points are calculated together. Phil McDougall returns to the race after not turning up for race number 2, missing the sign-up time. And he has moved up from the back of the field in 30th up to 12th position, looking for a top 10 right now. He sits 7th in class. Lee Horn, Nigel Stock now side by side, but that isn't stopping Kieran Sharp from getting involved. Both of those drivers get past Nigel Stock, and Sharp has to drop behind Lee Horn, giving Horn 4th in class but 7th overall, and that's what matters. Adam Delmont looking to try and get past Nick Clibbins potentially for a podium. Clibbins on the rear of Cheverton here. McCain continues to hold his 3-second lead. Will that still be the case if these pro drivers get through? He's going to have to do it for 10 laps, well, 9 more laps of asking. If he is able to carry that speed and potentially hold on to a race win, it will, as I said earlier, be the first time a Pro-Am driver has won the overall race this season. Mark Hughes falls down the order with issues. Adam Delmont, fastest man out there on the circuit right now. Isaac Doble, though, looking to try and make some moves here. Gets past Phil McDougall and trying to get past Craig Twardock through the middle of them, and does manage to do that as they get through all cleanly without issues somehow into turn number 1. There is a little bit of side-by-side action. They settle themselves down as Nick Clibbins has managed to get past Matthew Cheverton at the start of this lap, and now Adam Delmont will be wanting to get past Cheverton as quickly as possible to not let Clibbins pull away. Clibbins has taken a win this season, could look for a second, but he is not sitting very close to the top of the standings right now. Some inconsistent results there for Nick Clibbins, but this could be a result that he really needs if he's able to take his second win of the season. The last win coming in the rain at Brands Hatch. He decided to sit the wet tyres on at the start of the race when it was dry, and it worked out for him. Adam Delmont gets up the inside of Matthew Cheverton, moves into 3rd in this race now. Cheverton falls down to 4th, but will be wanting to follow the pro drivers to try and close up to Alan McCain, potentially try and take that win in the Pro-Am driver. McCain, if he is able to win here, will be another new winner in class. Nick Clibbins, Adam Delmont, if they take the overall win, will be repeat winners. Will it be another repeat winner, another repeat win for Delmont, or just a second win for Clibbins? Who knows, because here comes Delmont. He is going to try and attack Nick Clibbins in a fight for second. Delmont to the outside, Clibbins to the inside, neither of them backing out of it. But Delmont on that wider line, it just doesn't work out the way that he hopes. Clibbins holds on to that position, and their fighting at the moment is allowing Alan McCain to just pull away a little bit more. 8 laps to go, including this one. Mikey Doble put in the fastest lap of the race last time around, and will be wanting to move up some more positions after he sent himself around down at the hairpin. Clibbins once again has to go defensive from Delmont. Delmont not going to let him go easy though. Switches across to the left-hand side of the track and will go around the outside. He's going for the speed on the exit. Switches yet again, this time to the inside. Clibbins gets his car over there before Delmont is able to place his car towards the inside. Delmont though is trying to still force his way down there. Finally concedes, moves to the outside line. It'll be the long way around through the right-hander, but he does keep it there. He's going to be on the inside now and line it up better for the hairpin, because he's not going to be on the tighter line. Clibbins on the tighter line, Delmont on the faster line on the exit. It's going to initially be Clibbins, but the speed on the exit is going to go Adam Delmont's way. Delmont is going to find his way past Nick Clibbins, but they are side by side across the line as they go on to the 11th lap of asking here. They continue to bump each other's doors as we go up towards the breaking point of turn number 1. Adam Delmont on the inside, Nick Clibbins on the outside, and Delmont is going to be able to hold on to second place right now, but their fighting has given Alan McCain an extra second advantage. He is now 4.5 seconds up the road and is en route to not only his first class win of the season, but the first Pro-Am overall win. There are still going to be 7 laps to go at the end of this one. No, there's going to be 6 laps to go at the end of this one, which means that he doesn't have as long to hold it for, as that is major issues for Pro-Am Championship leader Phil McDougall here. What has happened to McDougall? Is it a mistake all on his own? It is. It's a loss for rear end and a huge whack with the wall for McDougall, and a spin behind as well from Mikey Doble, who's already gone around once and he's gone around a second time, and he has to wait And Mikey Doble was saying, as we were talking before the start of the race, that his season has not been the easiest. He keeps on getting into issues. He's struggling to figure this car out, and it is showing here, especially in this race for Doble after getting second in the last race. He is struggling here in race number 3 and will have to try and find some pace in the second half of the season as drivers head on through this battle. That is continuing for second position holds Clibbins just behind. Then we have the battle for second in the Pro-Am class with Cheverton leading Gayler. Now, can Harry Gayler get into second position? He took a podium in race number 2. This is his first weekend in the series. Can he find his way up to second and go one better in this one and get a 4th position result overall, which will be an extremely strong result and a good showing, and showing to all the other drivers exactly where he intends to be in the second half of this season. Andrew Pike then, 14th position right now, looks to the inside of Craig Twardock, makes that move and moves into 13th as that is Sam Smith around in the background and gets it back going the right way. Adrian Futch gets the position up to 15th and Sam Smith falls all the way down to 18th position. As it looks like for the most part the drivers now settling themselves down as we head towards the final 5 laps of the race. Davidson touches the wall. Sorry, no, that's Doble. Isaac Doble touches the wall ever so slightly. Tom Davidson chasing him down for 9th position. Now, this is quite funny actually, because obviously going into the safety car, Isaac Doble was the man who fell down from the restart and was outside the top 20. And it was Mikey Doble that was up here inside the top 10. And with all the issues that have been going on for drivers, it's swapped around. Mikey Doble now down into 20th. Isaac Doble back into the top 10, which is what the Pro Championship leader is going to need, especially after he took a win in race number 2. A strong top 10 result here will be great for him in maintaining his championship lead, especially with Kieran Sharp being there, getting that win in the opening race, and Sharp being in 6th position right now in that, who has actually closed up into that fight that we saw going on for second. Kieran Sharp is at the back of this one now, behind Harry Gayler and Matthew Cheverton, so could try to make his way through and make his way into 4th and potentially fight Clibbins and Delmont. That being said, the gap between McCain and Delmont was 4.5 seconds. It is down to 3 seconds. Now, there is potential that Adam Delmont is going to be able to get into a fight with McCain, but it would be last lap effort at that, I think, as Clibbins has to go extremely defensive there on Matthew Cheverton, and that fight is putting Clibbins down behind Delmont, not allowing him to catch McCain and losing him out on the fight with Delmont here and putting him in potentially under pressure with Kieran Sharp. They're going to come across the line to go on to the 14th lap of asking now, and they are going to count down to just 4 more laps to go. Of course, longer under the safety car this time than the previous 2 races, but those 3 laps not really affecting much in the whole overall scheme of things, because it is a nice long race around the circuit. Lee Horn is going to try the outside of Adam Wilson-Weir. Are they going to go side by side? No, they're going to settle themselves down, and Adam Wilson-Weir stays ahead of Lee Horn in 7th position. Lee Horn running around in 8th position right now, 1.5 seconds out of Isaac Doble. So Doble could potentially find even more positions here, up to 7th, I would say, by the end of this race. That's discounting anyone spinning out or having issues in front. Mark Hughes and Mark Sykes swap positions as Sykes moves down to 7th position. Sykes not doing too bad in the Pro-Am Championship, actually, and he's had some good results. In fact, I think he was on the podium even in one of the previous races. Today, it's not going to happen today, though, because he goes around, almost collected by Sam Smith, hits the back wall on the, hits the back of the car on the wall, and will have to recover in 19th position now ahead of Mikey Doble. Kieran Sharp gets past Harry Gayler, moves up into 5th position overall. Now only needs to dispatch Matthew Cheverton for him to have a fight with Nick Clibbins. The gap at the front down to 2 seconds. And looking at the gap last lap, the Delmont was running 0.6 of a second quicker than McCain. What is it going to be this lap across the line? Delmont is going to be running 0.8 of a second quicker. So that actually, do you know what? I think my prediction was roundabout right. I think this could be a lap 17 battle between McCain and Delmont. Delmont looking for his 3rd win this season. McCain, even if he loses out on the front of the pack, he is still going to take, as long as he doesn't make a mistake or fall down the order, he is going to take a class win. But if he's able to hold on and keep Delmont behind, it will be the first time this season we see a Pro-Am driver take the overall win, which would be a great result for McCain. But then again, he gets the same points if he wins the class, if he wins overall. All he's doing is stopping the drivers from behind from getting those points, those pro drivers getting the points from their overall position. Kieran Sharp looks to the inside of Cheverton to try and get up to 4th position, but not able to make that move there. We'll have another go at it as we get onto the next braking zone. And again, even though he placed his car up the inside, just nowhere to go right now. And Cheverton doing a great job in holding on to that 4th position. We actually could see a fight this lap between Adam, Delmont and McCain, because the gap is down to 0.8 of a second. We go across the timing line. As I look at the previous lap times, it's 0.8 of a second again between Delmont and McCain, which means at the very end of this lap, Delmont could have a very clear opportunity to get past McCain. McCain is going to have to place his car perfectly ahead of Delmont to keep him behind. We head through the fountain and now around towards the towards the right handle. We've seen so many cars go around so far. The gap down now to 0.6 of a second. Nick Clibbins 2 seconds back. So if McCain does lose out the lead, as long as he doesn't go around, as long as he doesn't overdrive it and crash, he is still going to win the Pro-Am field. But he is in with a real opportunity here to take the overall win. And as a racing driver out there, yes, you are thinking about the championship. Yes, you are thinking about the class positions. However, he's also thinking, 1 minute now, I've led this entire race. I had a brilliant safety car restart. I got the gap up to 4.5 seconds. Delmont, can you just do me a solid and stay back for one more lap? Delmont's obviously thinking, no, if I can get past you, I'm going to, because I want those points. Delmont gets to the inside, but it is the slower line, of course, that tighter line. McCain placing the car perfectly for that one. There is the white flag. We go on to the last lap of asking here. This isn't for just an overall pro win. It's who's going to take the win, a Pro-Am or a Pro. Adam Delmont looks to the inside of turn number 1, and it is going to go Delmont's way into turn 1. Sharp dispatches Cheverton and could now try to get past Clibbins for 3rd position in this race. McCain is going to take the Pro-Am win, but can he get his way back past Adam Delmont, or is Delmont going to find his way to the checkered flag first for the 3rd time this season? He's not been able to do it since the opening race at round 2. Can he do it at the final race in round 4? It looks like it's going to go his way, because he's half a second clear now of Alan McCain. Kieran Sharp is just half a second back off of Nick Clibbins. It could go either way here if Sharp runs these last few corners absolutely perfectly. You can see the gap ahead. There's nothing that this train of drivers behind is going to be able to do to get towards the front too. However, it looks like Clibbins is going to get it. He's just got to get the chicane right here. He does so. Sharp going for an alternate line for speed on the exits. But Adam Delmont, for the 3rd time this season, for the first time in 9 races, Adam Delmont wins. Alan McCain will come home second overall to win the Pro-Am class. Nick Clibbens comes home third. Sharp in fourth. Cheverton takes home fifth. And Harry Gaylor takes third yet again in class. Isaac Doble recovers to seventh position ahead of Tom Davidson, Lee Horn, and Adam Wilson across the line. Andrew Pike and Jamie Dorey run side by side across the line, and Pike beats Dorey by less than a tenth of a second. Nigel Stock stays ahead of Twardock. Fritsch stays ahead of Mark Hughes. Mikey Doble comes around to finish in 17th after multiple times going around. Mark Sykes in 19th. Sam Smith comes home in 20th position. James Parfitt's down pit lane to take home 21st position. But what a win for Adam Delmont, as that is his first win since race number 1 at round 2. It's been a long time for Adam Delmont to return back to the top, but he is once again the most winningest driver in this series. He has taken 3 overall victories, which ties the amount of victories that have been won the most in the Pro-Ams as well. But Alan McCain takes his first class win. It was almost an overall win. It just wasn't quite to be here today. Let's talk then through the full championship results full race results at the end of that one. And of course, a win from Adam Delmont, just 3/10 clear of Alan McCain come the end of that one. Nick Clibbens finished in 3rd position ahead of Kieran Sharp. Matthew Cheverton came home in 5th ahead of Harry Gaylor. Isaac Doble took home 7th, Tom Davidson in 8th ahead of Lee Horn and Adam Wilson-Weir. We then saw Andrew Pike come home in 11th ahead of Jamie Dorey. Nigel Stock came home 13th, Craig Twardock in 14th position, Adrian Fritsch in 15th. Mark Hughes took home 16th position ahead of Mikey Doble. Michael Clough finished in 18th ahead of Mark Sykes and Sam Smith. We then had James Parfitt, the last driver on the lead lap. Then Phil McDougall was a lap down. Not great for the Pro-Am leader heading into this weekend, especially after he missed race number 2. Matt Gatter was out of the race with some issues after winning the Pro-Am field in race 2 here. Zara McGuinness out of the race with that early incident, along with Craig Jones, Andy Aldhouse, Sean Connolly, Carl Thompson, and Gavin Gardner. Big issues, obviously, at the start of this last race with the reverse field, but Jamie Dorey called it. Safety car in all 3 races, and that is what we had. Safety car in all 3 races in that one. Let's see who might be around to have a quick chat after that one. I don't want to pull anyone in that didn't have the best of races, as I know what it's like to have to talk about some of your poor races. However, I do want to catch Adam Delmont just once more, because last time we saw Adam Delmont move to the front of the field was at the first race in Brands Hatch. It's been a long time for him to get back onto the top step of the podium, but Delmont, you managed to find your way through the field and get that win on the last lap.
Yeah, hi bud. At least I've managed to salvage something from the night. Obviously, it's not exactly gone brilliant tonight for me, so just a little bit unlucky, and but yeah, to finish on a win's pretty good.
You are the first driver to take his 3rd overall victory in this season, so you are the most winningest driver out there, and hopefully with some more consistent results heading into the back end of the season, that should mean that you'll find yourself on top of the championship. Of course, Isaac Doble took his 2nd win of the season in race number 2, so it's still going to be quite close at the top of the championship as we head into the back 4.
Oh yeah, and Isaac and Kieran and Jamie and a few others and Mikey. You can't ever rule them out because they're all incredibly quick, consistent drivers. So I've just got to hope that maybe I've just had a little bit of rotten luck last week and this week. Hopefully, shake that off and start putting in the strong results again from next week onwards. Because race 1, I think if it hadn't been for the mixed conditions and ultimately the slicks were the better tyre, but getting off that start line was quite difficult, and that kind of really set the precedence for the evening, really, didn't it? So all I could try to hope to do was make a bit of a comeback at some point, and yeah, finally managed it in race 3.
The reverse grid there helping you out a little bit with that one. And we head across to Aragon next week then. It's a fast circuit. It's going to require a bit of slipstreaming, but there are a lot of technical corners as well. How are you feeling about that one?
I generally like Aragon, and I usually, no matter what car I'm in, I'm usually pretty quick there. So yeah, I'm hoping next week will be good. Obviously it's going to be tight as ever. Plus Sam and Murray are back next week. They're quick, so there'll be a few extra quick drivers in the mix for qualifying. So yeah, just got to hope get the lap in quali, really. Stick it on pole, and then it gives you the best, starting foot for the night, really, doesn't it? So that's the plan. Just try and get a good lap in quali and try and roll with that for the evening.
Well, currently, so far, Sam is the only driver to have converted his pole position into a race 1 victory. So if you are able to place yourself on pole, hopefully that statistic will change in your favour and you'll find yourself back into victory lane again in the first race of next week. So good luck as we head into the back 4.
Thanks, Joseph. Thank you.
That was Adam Delmont there, taking the win in the final race of the day. As he said, it's been a bit of an evening for him, of course, going around in race number 1, attempting the dry tyres in that one and causing him to fall down the order. In his recovery, he was then pushed off, which meant that he was discounted from the reverse grid in race 2. Again, not a great result for him and finally the reverse grid in race 3, putting him into the best position to move up the field, and he found his way to the front of that one. Someone we haven't spoken to this evening is a driver who's taken his second win of the season in race number 2, but found a little bit of an interesting weekend from driving into the back of other people under the safety car, finding himself facing the wrong way and down pit lane. It's been a bit of an up and down weekend for you.
Yeah, like you say, up and down, definitely, for sure. In race 1, my monitor turned off under safety car, so I had no clue where I was driving, turned back on, and I was inside another driver, so that didn't really help me out in that race, but managed to recover and get the win in race 2, which is always good, and then incident in race 3, but a good recovery drive there at the end.
I would say a really good recovery drive there to get 7th. I mean, before that safety car, obviously it was an instant going on ahead, and then it looked like you were touched by Mikey behind that just put you around, and thought that was going to be your race over with that recovery. You're down outside the top 20, but you just found the pace and you were just moving through the field, and you've been alongside with Kieran Sharp. You two have been so unbelievably quick around this circuit in the various conditions that it was almost unstoppable. If you weren't involved in those contacts, do you think you could have taken even more than just the 1 win stay?
Well, mate, hopefully, yeah. I mean, race 1 I was running 3rd, I believe, so maybe that race I could have come through with the win. In the last race, as you say, a bit of contacts, but I was running quite strongly in that one as well, and don't know where I might have ended up in that one.
Well, going through into the back 4 then, we've got Aragon next week. It's a little bit of slipstream. You've got some fast straights, but it's also quite a technical circuit. How are you feeling about that?
I can't really remember the track that well. I haven't done many races there in my life. I'll have to do a bit of practice and see how it goes.
Well, good luck as we head into the back half of the season then, as we go into the final 4 rounds. Hopefully you'll keep your way at the top of the championship, but of course it is extremely tight and some fast drivers all the way down the pro field.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Isaac Doble there, who came home in that one in 7th position after we saw him down outside the top 20 early doors before the safety car came out, and yeah, recovering really, really well in that one, having a lot of speed. Here then, from the Long Beach Street Circuit, it will be time to say goodbye, and in the case of how dark it's getting, good night as well, because our 4th round of the season is complete. We are officially halfway through the NXTGEN Racing's Mazda MX5 Cup here for 2025, and we will see the back half of the season coming your way starting next week at the Motorland Aragon circuit. As you hear there, a few different opinions on the circuit. Some drivers knowing it, loving it. Others can't remember it very much. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes. It is a technical circuit, but you do have opportunities for slipstreaming. And because we are running the motorcycle layout as well, we run a nice fast end to the lap instead of a slow hairpin. So it should carry up some speed as well towards the end. We then head across to Red Bull Ring for the 6th round in competition at the start of December. Thruxton on the 9th of December, and on Mosport will be our final round of the season, and that will be on the 16th of December. I hope you join us for those ones. If you want to catch up on any of the previous races, be sure to head over to the NXTGEN YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up here as well, and you hit the like button if you are over on Facebook and you share it with any of your friends. And if you are following over on the Twitch page, make sure you hit that follow button as well so you're notified when any of the streams go live over there as well. If you want to catch up with any of the races that we have had so far this season, the full races or the extended highlights, you can head over to the Beehive Build Broadcasting YouTube channel where they are all available there as well. The extended highlights for this weekend will be out as soon as possible so you can catch up with the 3 races in a nice quick bite-sized format. But until next week then, I hope you have a fantastic week of racing, whatever else you might be doing, and I will see you next Tuesday for round number 5 at Aragon. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.